This is the Team Robin podcast from the Philippines.
Thank you for downloading the Team Robin podcast.
From Diet.
Welcome to the Team Robin podcast. I'm your host, Robin S. Voyage, coming to you from Mercedes, Philippines. It's about, not that it matters where you are, almost 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and that would be 23rd of December, 2022. And why am I doing a podcast today? I haven't done the podcast in over a year. Team Robin podcast is dead, you might say. It had a good run. We were on for several years. Had a small but loyal fan base. Always got a lot of compliments. But, the direction got kind of weird, and, it was easier when I was driving a truck, and I could just, every Monday or every Tuesday, I would sit there and do it. No, it was Saturday afternoon. And then I'd upload that, and then I'd, answer comments and stuff the next day, Sunday. But I woke up this morning feeling very frustrated. I've been here almost over 9 months, and I haven't really done anything. I've been sick quite a lot. I came down here to recover and maybe die. Recover and die. It's not really as much as an oxymoron as you think. My cardiologist said when I left, because I saw her a couple of days before I left, wanted to tell her I was leaving, number one, which surprised her. And she basically told me that if my health hadn't improved in 6 months, I'd be dead. She gave me 6 months to live. I've never told anybody that. I've kind of bandied around it. I've talked a little bit about the fact that I didn't expect to make it till summer, but I never really explained why. And that's not the purpose of this video, to be honest with you. The reason I'm making the video is because this morning when I woke up, I was frustrated. I was thinking about my YouTube channel and the fact that I haven't really done anything creative with it in many years. And now the cat's really distracting me. I don't know why. Get up here. My channel is actually one of the oldest channels on YouTube. And up until maybe 2010, it was definitely not as amateurist as much as an amateur operation as it looks like it is now. The technology and these creative YouTubers out there are amazing. Amazing people. But at the time, even to 2010, I was using an editor called Magix, a professional movie editor, which basically was only limited by my imagination, although I had to do everything manually. And there was a lot I didn't unlock in the program, and I don't mean, you had, like you do now where you have to buy features and stuff. You had to literally learn how to do everything. Like working a DSLR camera, or anything else where it requires a lot of skill, maybe as a pilot or something. But slowly my YouTube channel became less focused. Yeah, I always had ideas, but it became just sort of clips of things I was doing, and never really, or things that might have happened, but they were never really the story channel that I kind of wanted it to be. And I woke up today realizing I can't tell a story. I just can't do it anymore. Used to be. When I was in high school, I would write short stories all the time, beginning, middle, end. And that's something that's, I was always told was a skill, being a good storyteller, and I never really thought much about it until this dream I had, or this thoughts that just infected my head all night. Because the fact is, I was looking through my footage from my GoPro, which is where the only professional camera that I have now, and I was looking at the footage from it, and there's just lots of riding around. Yeah, I'm going certain places, but I'm not really focused. And yeah, there's a market for that kind of motorcycle vlogging, but that's not really what I wanted to do. Let me give you a hint as to what I watch, because I'm constantly watching YouTube, probably too much. I watch a lot of political stuff now, even though I hate politics. But I like the format of things like Tucker Carlson's comments. Even when he was young and wore a bow tie, I remember I was enjoying watching his stuff. But it's short. It's 5 or 6 minutes, 10 minutes. But it's got a question. It's got his opinions about the question that he just asked. It's usually got a short interview, and it's got the consequences of ignoring whatever advice he does. I mean, agree or disagree with the guy. That's the format, and it's successful. But outside of the political stuff, because most of it bores me, it irritates me. I watch travel videos and vlogs, and there's different kinds. And really, I'm gonna only mention these three because they're really the only three that I watch, and I watch them, all of them, like religiously. One of them is kind of odd. Her name is Emma, and she's a nice young English woman, and her channel's Emma Cruises. She goes on cruise ships, every type of cruise ship, river cruise ships, and she talks about, with a smile on her face, a charismatic, genuine smile on her face. She talks about getting to the cruise ship, about how much it costs, that she's a budget traveler. She talks about the room and the entertainment, the services on the ship, a little bit about what they did, any problems they had. And even with the problems, she'll keep a smile on her face. She's charismatic. It's informative and concise. And then at the end, she goes over the costs again and any advice she has to other cruisers. And then she concludes the video. And even like a negative thing, like her video the other day, she was boarding a lesser-known British passenger cruise line going to Bruges, and for the Christmas holidays, and that's what they were gonna do. It was like just a short 3 or 4 day thing. They wanted to go see the shops and the lights and really have a little Christmas experience. And they get on the boat, they check in, and the cruise gets canceled. Now they're allowed to wait till the next day, but even with that, the 3 or 4 day cruise canceled, she made it into a funny, interesting video, and she was able to still talk about the ship and the consequences of that and the problems, and keep a nice, polite, charismatic smile on her face. And at the end, maybe get a refund, maybe not. It doesn't really matter. They didn't stay till the next day. They left that night because they'd had to fight London traffic. She makes it very human and interesting, like if you were in her shoes. And she does it with a sense of genuineness that connects. And now I have no desire to ever step foot on a cruise ship. But I watch all of her videos. I'm not obsessed with her. I just find them extremely interesting and well made. And I think cruise ships are interesting places. And I've always kind of wondered, because I know a lot of people have gone on cruises, and it's never been something that I've had any desire to do, which might surprise many of you, thinking, well, Robin, you've done a lot of sailing and you live by the sea. It seems like that should be right up your alley. But the idea of getting onto a floating hotel where, when you ask people about it, they're always like, well, there was so much food and we got so drunk and this and that. Anybody that knows me knows I don't even go to a buffet. I hate buffets. Why do you hate buffets? Because I only eat one plate of food and I'm done. I'll just go to a regular restaurant, order off the menu, and then go somewhere else. I don't like to hang out and do that. And as far as drinking goes, I've been drunk a handful of times in my life. It's rare. I drink to levity, not to excess. Show you what kind of coffee I'm drinking. Anyway, I thought the podcast would be the best. Would really be the best format for this, just because I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't want to make a whole video. Anyway, I'm drinking this pre-mixed white coffee. It's hard to get good brewed coffee in the Philippines. So you see the cat. Look, there he is. He's a bad cat, by the way. He's probably gonna knock something off. Yep. Oh, Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. He bites. You know, I saved him. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about. And then there's a couple other videos, vloggers I watched. Almost to the point where I don't watch anything else. Noel Phillips, he's an Englishman who he basically, all he does is review airlines. So he always traveling. And he's got a plane, and he has a separate channel where he basically flies from place to place. They just relocated to Texas, believe it or not. But the videos are mainly from him getting to the airport, saying, hey, I've been on a Fokker 100 in forever, and I'm going to fly down to Adelaide in South Australia and take it to Brisbane and then do something else. And then he'll talk about the seats and the food and the in-flight service, very generally. And the loo review where he goes into the bathroom. And that's it. He rarely does anything out of the plane. Really. This cat is bothering me. What's with cats and bothering you? I know. Anything to say? Anyway. The other guy is, but anyway, his video is also very positive. Sometimes he takes his family with him. He's got a wife and 2 children. And he will drag them with him occasionally, but really, mainly he's on his own. And constantly going to some weird places, out of the way. Especially all over the former Soviet Union and Asia. And and odd little places in Africa and India. Like, it's nothing. And it's really quite interesting. Because, like, with his channel, you can kind of live vicariously. And he keeps it short enough so that it doesn't get boring. I don't know. I actually need this thing. It's kind of distracting. There's no wind in here. I turned the fan off. The only professional mic I have left, my other one that I used to use is still in Arizona on Brian's boat. The Yeti Pro. But I bought this at Guitar Center. Mainly to make interviews and podcasting something I can do, on the go. So what is that? Is it? No, it's a piece of coffee. Drop of coffee. But anyway. So the last guy I'm going to mention, his name is Josh Cahill, who is a very famous YouTuber as well. I mean, he's a proper vlogger. So he does everything from kind of the review of the plane, but he's so meticulous about every little detail of that flight that has gotten him into trouble with some airlines. I think Malaysia Airlines or Indonesian Air, I can't remember, but I used to hate his videos because I'm somebody who I've never really had a bad flight, ever. I get along with the flight crew. Any problems, I kind of take it in stride, and the airline takes care of me, and it just works out. And so when he had this huge problem once with, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Air Malaysia or Indonesian Airlines, but I took the airline side on it, and I roundly criticized him in different formats. And people do know who I am, and I guess it got around to him. And then he did a couple of videos with Noel. Like, they're friends, and even though Josh is German and he lives in Sri Lanka, in Colombo, and then, of course, Noel's British. And I don't know if Noel started rubbing off on him, but I started watching Josh's videos with Noel were much tamer and more polite, and I'm like, well, maybe I should watch some more of his videos, and I did. And to my surprise, he was very critical at times of certain places, because I assumed he's one of those people who just likes to complain to get views, but he was always justified. I ended up always taking his side, maybe begrudgingly at first, but no, he knows what he's doing. So I actually wrote to him and apologized to him, and he actually wrote back to me, and he said, I really appreciate, what you're telling, the apology from me. Like, who cares what I think? But anyway, there's actually one more I wanted to mention, and I'll get around to the reasons why. And Dale Phillips, he's a Scotsman, young, good-looking Scotsman, and he exposes a lot of scams. But he really travels mainly on the ground. That's the kind of vlogging he does. So he'll be all over the Himalayan region of the subcontinent, or all over Eastern Europe, or on some train ride on a Soviet-era train. And he refers to himself, to his audience, as your man. Your man's here. It's very endearing, and he's very charismatic as well. And he's also one of these people like Emma, who even when it goes bad, and there's bad stuff that happens, you still feel like it's a positive experience for him. Like, he makes it out to be, this is life, and it's something we have to deal with. In fact, I've only ever seen him mad. You could see it right under the surface a couple of times, and it was kind of the same reason I get mad in these countries like the Philippines, where people are always begging you for money on the street. They don't even know you, and yet, or they do know you, and they know you're broke, and they keep asking. And it's that kind of thing. So why do I bring them up? Because that's the kind of, they're good storytellers. They can also, they have a concise format, and that's the kind of, and they get a lot of views. They're making money through Patreon and views on YouTube, ad revenue. I finally, after 15 years, was able to have enough viewers, enough subscribers rather, to do ad revenue. And then I don't have enough hours because they've changed it. You need so many hundreds of hours a month, and I don't have that yet. Not that I want ads on my channel. Believe me, I don't. But I'm trying to make things sustainable here, so that I'm not relying on other people. And I'm not a fan of being broke. In fact, the other day when I was riding my motorcycle, I realized that maybe I've downgraded too much here, and I really maybe want to step it up. So, because when I first moved to the Philippines, I had a really, really nice apartment. It was way too nice, to be honest with you. I'm looking down on my neighbors with their thatched roofs and their chickens, and meanwhile, somebody come to my house, they're like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then 3 days later, they're asking you for a brand new iPhone because they think you're rich, because to them you are. But I didn't want to come off like that. And so I slowly learned to simplify my life. I called it simplifying my life. Going from not having hot water anymore to having a much more simple place to live. In fact, this is the most simple place, this apartment. And it's not bad. It's got everything you need, but it's a little too simple. And I realize now that I'm not kind of getting the help from my friends and here, and I don't mean money or anything. I just mean they don't care to be around me because I'm living just like they are. There's nothing special about me. Does that sound narcissistic? I don't mean it to be. I just mean, when I came here for a long time, it was kind of a novelty, and I had a nice place to live, and it was kind of a cool place to come and have a party and hang out. But I was sick for like almost 3 weeks. Renio came by a couple times, like literally twice. I was on death's door. Nobody else would come. It's good coffee. So maybe I do need to upgrade a little bit. But mainly I need to figure out a way to make some money, and I need to figure out what happened to my creativity, because it's gone. So this whole dream last night, or dream sequence, or thoughts, wasn't fun. I don't even know if I have the footage or if that was a dream, but I wanted to do a video. Yeah, it had to have been a dream. It seemed real when I woke up. Okay. It seemed real when I woke up, so maybe it wasn't real, but there was an airline last year, or the year before, that banned children. Yeah, this is definitely in my head, now that I'm about to say it. And because they banned children, they made it out in their advertisements like you could literally kill the children or eat them. Now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe I've lost touch in reality. So this seemed like a real thing, and I had footage of the airline, which I liked. I think it was like Cathay Pacific or Singapore Airlines. And people are waking up. Chickens are waking up. People are waking up. And I wanted to have a video about... Oh, and then they reversed the policy so they could have children again. But I wondered who the type of people were that didn't want children on an airplane. And so I wanted to make a video about how the people that didn't want children on the video were very kind of Karen-esque kind of people. I imagined like a guy in a beanie and, you know, and kind of a snotty look on their face the whole time. They didn't want to, you know, look at children on the airplane. And in the dream, now I know it's a dream, they could eat the children. Eat them. I mean eat them, like literally take a knife and fork and eat the children if they are on the plane. I don't know how they get on the plane. That might be a big red flag for parents not to take your children on this airplane. But so I wanted to tell the story of how this airline had banned children and how they eventually came back to it. And then I wanted to portray the people, like the parents of children, as being very happy and positive people. This isn't making any sense now. I want to tell stories again. So I read a lot. I read a lot of stories. So why can't I tell a story? And then I realized what I read. I mainly read serial science fiction. You know what serial means? It never ends. Like one of the book series I'm reading, the Lost Starship series, by Von Heppner. I'm on the 17th book. So yeah, it has a beginning and has a middle, and then it never ends. It just goes. So maybe that's the problem, is I've forgotten how to tell a concise story in 15 to 20 minutes. And that's what I need to learn how to do again. And then I need to learn how to do editing and a storyboard. Maybe I need a producer. A lot of these guys, these really good YouTubers, they have a producer, they have a director. And they know how to do this stuff initially themselves, but they hired someone else to do it. The other thing is this. You know, even when I was back in high school and college, I wanted to make films, like motion pictures. I don't mean like dramas. I mean like things like Albie Mangles or the Lonely Planet series, where people, or they're vlogs, but they were on film. And I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be behind the camera. And I remember, and I needed but I knew what I was doing. I actually was looking for a Bolex 16mm, and I was gonna get a sound engineer and teach him how to, or my friend Mike, to be my sound engineer and travel with me. And this was gonna be a business. And I was gonna look for somebody like my friend Brian, who'd be perfect to be in front of the camera and tell the story. And I'd be in the videos sometimes, but mainly I'd be behind the scenes, you know. And like he would be like the star of the show. Like Brian, for example, would be the star of the show. Brian is very good at telling a story, and he's good in front of the camera. He's photogenic. He might not think he is, but he is. And that was my idea for a long time, and then it sort of just petered out. So I'm frustrated. I have all this footage on the GoPro, and and on the laptop, and I just don't know what to do. Yeah, other things have happened too. Like, I'm using this ancient phone because the phone I bought right before my trip, this one, it broke. I mean, little things kept breaking on it. I can't even get it to come apart now. But the screen literally falls out now. I can't do anything with one hand. It's because I have the case on. Hold on. The case on. Okay. So you see that. This is the flexi cable. This goes into the battery. This is the screen. This is the whole phone, for the most part. This is the battery. And that flexi cable goes into this hole right here, and there should be a connector on that side. But this is all sealed, and there's rivet. That's the camera. Is it the camera? No, it's not. Yeah, it's the camera. But there's almost like rivets here, or it's glued or something like that, and but I have all sorts of things on that camera, video and data that I need. So things have not gone perfectly, and now I'm out of money. Oh, and then the person, I'm so embarrassed. This is bad, and I can only blame myself for being trusting. But the person that had my retirement money disappeared. So, like last week, just all accounts deleted. Somebody I've known for many years, and who do you complain to? I'm in a foreign country, and I'm kind of stuck. Not that I want to go back to the U.S. anyway, but I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Ask for some help from people, but I mean, how long can you be a burden? I really don't know. I'll get into that another time, but mainly I just want to talk about the creativity side. I don't know what else to do to make money here. I kind of wanted to do the YouTube thing, but I've lost something. I don't know how or when, but I lost something over the last 12 years. It slips away and you don't even notice it. So, anything else? Anything else? I'm trying to think. No, that's it for now. It's funny because the whole, when I got started, I must have been half asleep, and I was thinking about that airline that had banned children, and then you could eat them if you caught them on board. And it didn't even seem far-fetched to me. It seemed like it really happened. But it was all in my head. So maybe I am cracking up. So any advice, please write to the Team Robin podcast in the comments section. And everybody have a great day. Thank you. The cat is really bugging me.